found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are. And like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. Now, today, I decided I was going to do a brief update of some of the things that have been found out on the web that I think you will find very interesting. And I know everybody is limited on their time schedule, so I have this information compiled, and I will try to give as much of it as I can to you. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this is I want to begin with something that you might find rather, and so we'll start off on a happy, positive note before we get into the nitty gritty. So I'm going to share a screen with you in a minute here, and let me go here.
You basically do everything that we do, but you do it bigger and you do it better. Like, we have stupid people here, but your stupid people are world class. And that is not me saying, oh, all Americans are stupid. No, America also has the smartest people on the planet. What I'm saying is that when America does stupid, you do stupid. Like, our village idiot is in a park shouting at clouds. Yours is president. Americans, you basically do
I'm going to let it play one more time
because
the beginning.
You do it bigger and you do it better. Like, we have stupid people here, but your stupid people are world class. And that is not me saying, oh, all Americans are stupid. No, America also has the smartest people on the planet. What I'm saying is that when America does stupid, you do stupid. Like, our village idiot is in a park shouting at clouds. Yours is president. Americans,
Alrighty.
You basically do
enough.
Everything that we do, but you.
I just thought it was funny because most Europeans and people from other parts of the planet are so much more aware of what's really going on in the planet than an awful lot of Americans. I'm sorry to say that, but I think it's partly because we have to be kept so busy with 2 jobs or 3 jobs, who knows, and you just don't have the time or the energy left to do some of the research required to know these things. Plus, we have pretty much mass hypnotized by the television, which actually has technology in it for mind control with subliminal messages and different frequencies that you are not visible to your eyes, but they do exist. So some of the things that I wanted to cover today is there's been information out that the Supreme Court ruled on the Brunson case. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the Brunson case because a lot of people wrote it off and said nothing would ever happen. Well, it appears that something really has happened. And the fact of that is that in case you don't know what it's about, the Brunson case took before the Supreme Court that Congress did not uphold their oath of office and protect the right to vote. So they ruled in favor of that. And what that amounts to is that will nullify the 2020 election and the Biden administration and all of Congress. 300 members will be removed because they all voted against even looking at all kinds of evidence indicating there was definitely a problem. I don't care whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican or whatever you are or independent. We need the right to vote to be honest. And it hasn't been for years. This isn't the first time they did this. So I think that's important to know. But one of the things that they were concerned about is that they probably have planned riots around the country. This may break open at, on the 4th or shortly thereafter is my guess, which is understandable. But they know that it's going to, some people will be objecting literally. So, okay. What are you laughing at? Oh, are you laughing at the video, Holly? It was pretty funny, wasn't it? I got a good laugh out of it too. Anyway, moving right along, so they're expecting riots in the cities, especially the big cities and so on when the nation is released. But what's really good about it is the return of President Trump. I can't think of a better leader at this point in time with what's going on in this country who can turn it all around. And let me show you something else that I'm going to share a screen with, which would really help turn it around. And I think you'll be surprised that this kit just came out today. I heard it probably over a year ago. Yeah, Julia, I do think it is real. I really do. And so let me share this other screen to show you something else that I think is very interesting. Let's see. I posted it on my Facebook page because it was that important. And this will blow your mind because Trump is a direct descendant of Yeshua, I call him, because you have to be aware that the letter J was not in use during that time. Hebrew didn't have J's. So that was put in there by the Cabal. His actual name is Yeshua or Yeshua, however you want to, say that, but that's his correct name. His name wasn't really. And if you look up Jesus in gematria, it comes up with the same numbers as Lucifer. So you might want to think about that. But anyway, if you look at the fact that Trump is a direct descendant, doesn't that explain to you why he has been attacked unmercifully, continuously, to the point where, oh my God, how does he withstand it? Because it's endless. And then if he says something probably to make his own self feel better based on, then people attack him for that too. It's just amazing how I've never seen anybody, and I've been around for quite some time now, I've never seen anybody attacked so frequently as President Trump. But he's coming back and he's going to take care of our entire planet, I think. But so let me get back to some of the other news I have for you. That is, just so you know, just as another source of reference here, where I originally heard about the Brunson case, they actually used the emergency alert system in Japan to announce a Supreme Court decision on the Brunson case and saying that the 2020 election was nullified and President Trump would return. We have to hear it from other countries because our mass media is not going to tell us anything because they've been going along and creating this narrative and so on. They're part of the problem, obviously. I think everybody knows that by now. So the next thing that I'd like to move on is to talk a little bit about the Federal Reserve. And there were 6 men in 1910 that and I can name them. It's Nelson, Aldrich, A. Piet Andrew, Henry Davison, Frank Benderlip, Benjamin Strong, and Paul Warburg. They met at Jekyll Island Club off the coast of Georgia to draft a plan to re-architect the nation's banking system. And good old Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act, and it launched financial agony for Americans. It is what has created perpetual debt, wars, stock market crashes, depressions, and so on. So many of our so-called politicians have sold us out, we the people, that is. And we're going to get it all turned around. You can trust on that. So the other thing that I think you need to be aware of, what they did, and this involves the Titanic. I don't know if you've heard the story about the Titanic sinking. Well, there was a reason that the Titanic sank. It wasn't even the Titanic. It was the Olympia. And that was a ship that had been damaged significantly, that they did Band-Aid repairs to and replaced the real Titanic with the Olympia, I believe it is. I don't want to get that wrong now. But anyway, the reason that it sunk, and this is what these guys do, there were three men who were against the Federal Reserve. It was Benjamin Guggenheim, Issa Strauss, and Jacob Astor. Those three men were on that ship, and they were against the Federal Reserve. And these people sunk that entire ship to get rid of these guys so they could have what they wanted. And that's what they've done so many times. It's just, it's horrible. All three of those men died that night that the Titanic sank. Again, it wasn't the Titanic. And I have another little piece of information from Juan O'Savin from his book, Kid by the Side of the Road, that actually explains more about how that switch off took place. Here it is. And this is strictly for your information. And if you haven't heard it before, or if you have heard it before, please bear with me, because I think it's important that more people be aware of it. Here's an unknown aspect of the ship sitting on the bottom of the ocean right now. It's not the Titanic. That is not even the ship you think. Instead, it is the Titanic's sister ship, her twin, the Olympic. Fantastic research has been done by multiple people who have meticulously documented this, including photos showing the Titanic was swapped with the Olympic while they were parked beside each other in a dry dock. Why would they do that? Well, the Olympic was the first of the two ships to be built, making it more advanced in its construction timetable. And during the testing phase, the Olympic hit a British military ship coming out through a clearing as it left the harbor. That collision put a gash the length of a football field on the starboard of the Olympic's forward bow. This Titanic sister was taken to a shipyard and repaired, but the work was done wasn't using the highest quality steel. In fact, they used cheap pig iron that is much more fragile and, of course, buckles easily relative to the steel that should have been used. So that pig iron on this huge gash right at the waterline made it a very fragile ship. There are photographs of the ship swapping as it occurred. Not only was the Olympic substituted for the real Titanic, but of course their badging had to be exchanged as well. From that point, you have a much more fragile Titanic, already crippled before it even left the dock. The ship was sent out across the ocean with all those business people and other blood sacrifices to move into a takedown position at the altar. Again, this was a plot and a plan by the wizards to gain control over America, and it was a huge tragedy, and many people lost their life unnecessarily. So Just be aware of that. And now they're trying to, the Federal Reserve is done. They were owned by a foreign agency, the Rothschilds, and the fact that they, why is it doing this? Coming back up again. Okay. They were, that's what they do to get whatever they want. And there is a long plan that was put together to take down America. And look at what's going on in this country. We need people to wake up and step up really bad, you know. And I think the energies on the planet are helping somewhat because people are waking up a lot faster than they were at first. So that is really, really important. And Julia, I'm going to bring that up because that's an important in my opinion, there are sleeper cells that would riot, especially on the fourth holiday, and praying for peaceful vibrations. Thank you for that, Julia. That's very important. And I agree. And they are already prepared. That's why you saw the military move all around and place themselves in probably mostly in the larger cities where they expect most of the rioting or the sleeper cells to be set loose to cause problems. Okay. That's the story on the Titanic and the Federal Reserve. So let me see what else I have for you. One of the biggest things I think that is totally amazing, and I wish I could show you a picture of something that is called Kind Lefresserbrunnen by Hans Guying. I'm sorry, I don't know how you pronounce that correctly, but in 1546, it's a statue, and the guy's holding a whole bunch of little kids, and it's called The Eater of Little Children, and it's a fountain in Bern, Switzerland. Are you kidding me? You know who else is in Switzerland? The WEF, the WHO, CERN, and Gavi, Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, World Trade Organization, and last but not least, the UN. So all that in Switzerland, and a statue with a fountain that's the Eater of Little Children. Is that a clue there of what they're doing? I'm afraid so. But anyway, that particular thing is an orgy, and at his side is a bag containing more children. He sits on figures of goats. So it's terrible. Anyway, America has been captured, and so have most of the countries around the world by the deep state. And according to Carrie Cassidy, there's an even deeper deep state, a secret government that we haven't even been aware of. But that's another. But anyway, these there's been a plan that has been in operation for quite some time, because they're very slow and methodical. Infiltrate every different agency. And the only thing they really want from you is food and sex. And it's not going to be, I'm sure it's not pleasant sex either. And it's a cult, and they're crazy as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, moving right along. Actor Tyrese Gibson warns that Hollywood is overflowing with satanic pedophiles. I don't know if my YouTube channel will stay up there when we talk about these kinds of things, but they need to be talked about. I was told that YouTube has been taken over by the white hats, but we'll see. I also heard that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had one of his videos taken down, and he's bringing out a lot of truth as well, even though he's, I guess he's being the Democratic person for the next election, which I don't see what the point in. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but until the election of 2020 is dealt with, I don't see what is the point of voting in 2024 when all they're going to do is cheat again. I mean, what makes you think they're not going to cheat? They cheated in 2020, they cheated in 2022, and now they're going to cheat again in 2024. 24. So unless cheating is somehow dealt with, what's the point? Because they'll put in whoever they want to put in, unless true change is really happening, and I think it is, because we're going to see a lot of changes here in July. You're not going to see any improvement in any material wealth that is talked about frequently, the quantum financial system and so on, because that's not going to happen under the current fake administration. President Trump has to be in place for that to happen. So, and the other important thing that's happening on July 4th that you should be aware of, and many of you probably already are, is that The Sound of Freedom is coming out, which is a story about child trafficking. And it's actually described by people that have seen it, Carrie Cassidy in particular, calling it very tame because it doesn't show some of the real horrific issues that go on. The satanic rituals, I hate to even say it, the eating of the flesh and drinking the blood and all that. It's just awful. But God's children are not for sale. And we need to get the whole population up in arms about this sort of thing, because that's the only way we can stop it, is if you're aware of it. You have to be aware of it, and you can't turn your head away and say, oh, that can't happen. Baloney. It's been happening, and it's been happening for eons. And this planet is run by Satanists. I don't know if you know that, but it is. It is so mind-boggling. Epstein Island isn't the only island out there where this kind of thing happens. These people are sick. The government agencies, a lot of them are in corporate entities. They've handed off children. They traded children like trading cards, like a baseball trading card. They traffic children all over the world. It's just unbelievable. And there's sex clubs, and it's just unreal. But it's happening, and it needs to be stopped. And the only way it's going to be stopped is when more people become aware. So if you're already aware, you need to drop some hints with other people, or maybe not just hints, just come right out and tell your friends and relatives about it and start a conversation. If they just turn away, well, then that's on them. But they have to at least be introduced to it, that it's actual possibility, because it's more than a possibility. It's been happening for way too long. There are a number of trailers that you can watch on The Sound of Freedom, and it is coming up on July 4th. It's actually released July 3rd too at a lot of places. But anyway, if you want to know a little brief intro about it, it's The Sound of Freedom was based on an incredible true story. It shines a light on even the darkest places. After rescuing a young boy from ruthless child traffickers, a federal agent learns the boy's sister is still captive and decides to embark on a dangerous mission to save her. With time running out, he quits his job and journeys deep into the Colombian jungle, putting his life on the line to free her from a fate worse than death. Jim Caviezel also played in The Passion of Christ. That's a movie I couldn't watch because I couldn't see that kind of torture and so on. I just can't watch it. But anyway, then moving right along again. Let's see. Benjamin Fulford says the Black Sun Group was calling for emergency world military summit after the failure of the first act of the Wagner operation. The P3 Freemasons, who control the Black Sun organization, the Vatican, and large parts of the Pentagon, want military forces to take action because all politicians are corrupted by the financial system. And that is the very basis of the problem in politics. The amount of money that it takes to do things, not to mention the amount of money that all these, everything is a business. Every agency of the government is a business. A business is set up for profit. You can't be set up for profit and serve the people too, because the profit will come first. And this, we can see this all the time if you know anything about the court system, prison system, and so on. They are making a fortune every day that they have an inmate in jail, even that they have in jail that hasn't even been convicted yet. And they do that a lot in Sedona. And it doesn't surprise me because it's in Maricopa County. The Wagner Group led a failed attack. I think you probably may have heard about that. And did you know that the U.S. is paying the Wagner mercenary group? Yeah. You have no idea the way your tax money has been spent. You would withdraw and not pay any taxes if you knew the truth about it. You're lied. We've been lied to about everything. It's just amazing. And now you're going to find out they are actually starting to believe or to tell people that the climate change is causing diseases. Yes, you heard me right. Climate change is diseases. Unbelievable. And now they're having the Ministry of Climate Change is building a new facility that will be home to firearms armory, interrogation rooms, biological labs, media relations offices, controlled quiet rooms, and intelligence facilities. What do they need that for? There are some very nefarious characters out there doing some very horrible things. And I guess this was in this particular is in Canada, and they have been, boy, they've had some real difficult times. Okay, now we have, I believe this heat wave that we're getting is probably induced by HARP and so on. Okay, let me get to some more here. We are actually fighting against BlackRock. Oh my goodness, they own almost everything, and that's one of the problems. And again, it's it's controlled by just really bad people. The mass murder of children by the Khazarian mafia is now also visible to everyone. Jim from the Sound of Freedom has exposed the institutional child sex trade in his new film, Sound of Freedom. So you'll be able to find out more about that if you see that movie. I highly recommend that you go see it. The 3-letter agencies are all involved, every one of them. So how can we trust them? And it's my understanding that they're trying to bring charges against Trump now and try to put him away for 400 years in prison. That's what they do in banana republics, for pity's sakes. You know, who's ever in power and wants to be the dictator, they put the other guy in jail. And that's what they're doing here. People have got to wake up to this. And I know we have a lot of supporters of Trump. Gail Steed. Okay. Let's see what else I got here. I got so much I don't even know what to cover, but it's coming out in leaps and bounds. It really is. There were some Navy SEALs saved a bunch of children. I think it was over 800 on a ship outside of, it was either San Francisco or San Diego. I'm not sure which one, but either way, the children were rescued. And the Navy SEALs rescued them from the child slavers. This is going on. This is such a big problem that people don't even realize, because we have been lied to about everything. We have not been informed about much of anything. They keep us so busy to be able to survive, that by how many jobs do you got to have? I mean, I should be retired. I enjoy giving out information and doing this type of thing because I do really think it's so important. Um, which brings me to another thing. If there's any way that you can be of any support at all, am in a rather desperate situation. I'm not sure I even have enough to cover my rent this month, because of some other drama that went on and caused all kinds of chaos in my household. But anyway, that being said and done, I just hope that if you're capable of helping, I'd appreciate it. That's why I can't, in my heart, charge for anything, because I think I like to have the information remain free. But if you're in a position that you could be of some help, I really appreciate it because I do need it. I live on my Social Security, and I have to make something to make up the difference and also cover the utilities and so on. And I was doing pretty good for a while, and then all of a sudden, when YouTube took the channel down, it was a big financial hit, and they do that on purpose. There's many ways to take light workers down, and that's what they're trying to do to me. And I don't know why. I'm not that big, but apparently they don't like the stuff that I say and put out, or the guests that I have on. But that's too bad because I'm going to keep doing that. Let's see what else. There's also another. Let me show you something else that I think you might like to take a look at. Let me do. Carrie Cassidy gives a very good presentation here on the Truth Tour. It's only 34 minutes long. I can't believe they only gave her that much time to talk. But nonetheless, she's been out there for over 18 years. She interviews all the whistleblowers. She has a wealth of knowledge because of that. And she goes over the important things that she knows in this relatively short presentation, and it is quite good. And that is something. There's one thing that came up too that I think I'm going to share as well. Well, she does it in this video, so why don't you just listen to her? And it's regarding Dr. Stephen Greer and some of the things that he said that doesn't quite make sense, because the big one that stands out in my mind is that there are no bad aliens. That is just not true. So why would you say something like that? That's just one thing. I forgot what the other thing is, but I'm sure it's there. Okay, let me stop sharing on that one. Then, do you know, this is funny, China is planting fields of stones stuck to metal bars in order to look like they're growing food, when in fact it's not food. It's painted stones and things, because their pollution is so bad. I can share that screen too just for a minute so you can see what I'm talking about. What is that one? Oh, here it is. Whoa, here it is. China, polluting the world more than all other countries combined. Local regions are painting dry brush green and are using rocks glued to metal bars to mimic plants in order to fool government inspectors that mandatory green policies are being followed. Cancer villages have emerged. A documentary film producer discovered that emissions from Chinese electric vehicles and factories are fake as manufacturers bribe regulators. She was disappeared and her work was censored. China is lying about implementing green policies and aims to increase its coal-burning power plants by 6-fold this year. So that's another little tidbit of information. Where is my stop sharing? Oh, I guess I did. Okay. Let me see what else I have for you. Oh, I got to share the screen again. Here's another thing you need to look it up and watch it. I have not even had the chance to see it yet myself, but it's the latest sequel to Exposing the Cabal, the sequel to The Fall of the Cabal, the World Economic Forum. If they have their way, it will be the end of Homo sapiens. So we need everybody awake. We need to stop these guys. We are strong when we are together. We are weak when we are divided. And we have to stop being divided and start standing together against this. They want to control our very mind. They want to totally control your body. They want, AI running you, and they can. It's just unbelievable. So it's very important that you be aware of these things and share it with others, because look at all these different videos you can share with other people, and you can show them what the truth of what is really going on. And we need to step up and get this stopped. And a lot of people are. So I have ever more faith in humanity all the time. So let's see. It's funny, the media blamed the climate change for the Canadian wildfires. Despite they arrested a bunch of arsonists for one thing, and then they had a whole bunch of fires all in one place. Totally ridiculous. And they really think we are really, really dumb. And I think it's not so much a matter of intelligence as, well, maybe it is, but it's just we don't know. We're not told the truth, and we're living in a sea of lies, and that doesn't resonate with us. We were born in love. Lies are not love. Maybe I should call my channel Gail's Tea Time. I like that. That's cute. Thank you for that comment. Yeah. What's this here? What's this one? Oh, here. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Julia. Thank you. Moving right along. Let's see what else I have. I'm starting to run out, but I have a ton more stuff, but I don't want to bore you either. There's so much out there. And if you just look at some of the things that I showed to you, I think you will enjoy it and be amazed as well. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Daily. Well, I don't know if I can do it daily, but I don't get paid anything for what I'm doing. There's no income here for me. You have to pay for Rumble. You have to pay for your newsletter. You have to pay for this platform that I'm on right now. All these things cost money. And I do have to make some extra in order to try to get everything covered. Like now, that's why I'm having difficulty right now, because I had some things that got in the way and caused some problems that have cost me. So anyway, thank you so much for your kind remarks, Julia. Let me see. I think I am going to let this one be. Let it be. And I'm wishing everyone a very happy 4th of July. Be careful out there, though. I am concerned. Be very mindful of your surroundings. And do your best to enjoy, spend time with your family. You know, love is the only thing that really matters. And it's hard for people to see that because we've been made to think we should have, all these material things. And a lot of people will measure your character by the size of your pocketbook. And most light workers don't have much of a pocketbook. And I'm one of those as well. And I can't in my heart of hearts charge you for the information I put out there. All I can do is ask you if you would donate or help if you at all possibly can, because I don't want anyone helping that is struggling themselves. But even every amount, no matter how small, matters and helps. And I appreciate it all. And I thank you all for listening. And you have a wonderful 4th of July. But I will be on having a show tomorrow, again with Michelle Marie Angel. And she done wonderful work. I love her poetry, and her books are full of it. And they're full of light codes because she would meditate and connect with her higher self and then write them. So I've had a great deal of fun doing shows with her, and I'm not sure what we're going to do tomorrow, but you'll find out. Please look us up, and we try to stay on the spiritual side and the manifesting side and the looking at the good things that are happening so that we can keep our vibration up, and because as we do that, that helps the planet, because Mother Earth is raising her vibration, and we want to stay with her, and everything is being done to help us. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little newscast, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your following this and listening. Thank you.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now, don't look back now. Stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, fighting our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way. We control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel let's show our colors.